Alright, what's good everybody? So I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about taking profits and where you should put your take profit, where should you put your stop loss and all that kind of good stuff. So I feel like it's a super overcomplicated system that people just overlook. They add a bunch of things to it and it just, for them, it just doesn't make any sense. So I wanted to come on here and show you guys how simple it is and you don't need to add 50 different things, okay? So in this case, I'm going to be showing you guys bullish and bearish scenarios. I'm going to going over take profits, multiple take profits, stop loss, trailing stop losses, all that good stuff. Okay, so getting into this right now, obviously we could see that we made this entire move down today. So what I'm going to do is basically, let's just say we get into this trade right here. All right, so we have a 5-minute fair value gap. If it loads, 5-minute fair value gap, beautiful entry. We're going to go to the downside. Let's just say if I take it right here. So now the way you're going to put your stop loss is typically you're going to put it above the amount that you're willing to lose. So obviously it depends on the trader. And this goes for different ways too. So it's not just for your amount that you want to lose, but it's also where the stop loss needs to be. So obviously you're not going to put it all the way up here. Okay, I mean, if you're putting huge money on the table, you're probably just gonna blow a funded account if you go up here. The way you're gonna do it is probably just have it somewhere above these highs. There's an order block right here, so you want to have it maybe above this order block, or if you want to have it, at this fair value gap right here, at the top of this fair value gap. So that's usually where I would put it. So let's just say, for example, if I'm getting into this trade, I would honestly put it the close of this fair value gap, just like this. So that would be my stop loss right there. So now what we're going to do is find spots where we want to take profits. So let's just say, for example, you're entering a trade with 3 contracts. Okay, so now you have to decide, do you want to hold all 3 contracts throughout the entire trade, or do you want to take profits, take partials, and then move your stop loss and stuff like that. So the way I do it is usually if I'm taking 3 or more contracts, I always have multiple take profits so I can secure profits and not lose money if it ends up reversing in a different direction. Now, the way you're going to put your take profits is literally any spot that you're going to see price potentially reverse. Okay, so in this case scenario, obviously we took the trade right here. We swept these lows right here. Now, the way you would put it is your first take profit is most likely going to be the most recent low. Okay, so this is going to be the most recent low that you have made. So this is going to be your very first take profit. It's going to be basically a 1-to-1. 9 times out of 10, obviously it depends on the size of the trade, but most likely it will just be a quick 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Okay, so this is going to be TP1. All right, so now we have 2 contracts left. So let's just say we come down, we take profit 1. Great. Now we have 2 contracts left. All right, so now what we're going to do is, let's just say, for example, I wanted to take another contract off at these lows right here. So personally, the way I would do this is I would have just taken the rest of my contracts. So obviously we took 1 contract off and now I have 2 contracts left. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to close all of my entire position at this low right here. So obviously it is a prominent low. If we sweep this, there's a chance that it might do something like this. So we could come down, sweep these lows, and then just boom, continue higher after that. Okay, and this goes the exact same way with this as well. So what we could see potentially is us sweeping this low, so obviously taking out this profit, sweeping this low, and then we could potentially just reverse right here. Okay, so now let's just say, for example, you moved your stop loss to break even. Okay, so you move your stop loss to break even. So you hit take profit 1 and you move your stop loss to break even. You're basically risk free on this trade. There's absolutely no way that you could lose money on this trade if you did not move your stop loss to break even, or if you did move your stop loss to break even. Okay, so let's just say something like this happens. We hit take profit 1. Let's just say you're up $100 on this take profit 1. Okay, and now price reverses and you hit your stop loss. Great. You didn't lose any more money than you needed to. Okay, and this is a risk to reward of a 1-to-1. So depending on obviously how much you put into a trade, let's just say in this case scenario, the stop loss is $100. So if you took profits right here, and obviously this is your break even, you didn't lose any money whatsoever. You made $100 because you hit your take profit one, and then price went up, hit your break even, which is your new stop loss, and then you're basically done. Okay. Now you move on to the next trade. You find something new, whatever. Now let's just say, for example, you hit your take profit one, and price reverses, and you didn't actually move your stop loss to break even. Now what happens? You hit your original stop loss. So now what? You basically just lost the entire trade because, yeah, your take profit one was $100, but your stop loss was also $100. So you're basically break even on the trade. You basically, you won $100 and then the market took back $100 because you didn't move your stop loss to break even. So that's why it's super important to move your stop loss to break even, because anything can happen, So let's just say, for example, let's continue on with this. So that's kind of like a quick lesson of moving your stop loss to break even. I'll go over with more examples and stuff like that later on. Okay, so now let's just say, for example, we take this trade. Great. This is your take profit two. This is what I also like doing. So obviously, once I take my take profit one, I move my stop loss to break even, and then my take profit two is all the way down here. Okay, great. So this is actually what I like doing right here. So take profit one, and I also write stop loss to break even. Cool. So now I'm for sure not going to lose this trade whatsoever. So now I'm going to go down here, and then let's see what happens. Boom. Beautiful. So now let's just say take profit two was about $250. Okay, so this entire trade, you just won $350. Nice and easy, right? Cool. Let me go give you guys another example of how you could have used that. Okay. All right. So let's just say, for example, we're going to enter this trade right here. Obviously, it's not an ideal trade, but whatever. It doesn't. Let's just say, for example, there's a fair value gap here or something like that. Where are you going to put your stop loss? So obviously, you're not going to move your stop loss right here. You're going to put it at any low or anywhere below your entry. Okay, so obviously you're not going to put it all the way down here, and you're not going to put it right here. You're going to put it anywhere below your entry. Personally, if I was entering on this trade, I would put my stop loss at this prominent low right here. Okay, so I don't know if we made an SMT or not, but this is I'm just going off of this area right here. So the way I'm going to put my take profits. So let's just say I entered this trade with 5 contracts. So we're going to up it up a little bit. And each take profit, I want to close out one position. Great. So we're going to go look on a higher time frame. Wish my computer wasn't so laggy for some reason. All right, so we can see that we have a beautiful 15-minute bearish fair value gap that most likely price will retrace back into. Okay, so price, what I want to see is my final, I want to at least be closing half of my position before I enter this 15-minute fair value gap. 15-minute fair value gaps for market open are very, very probable. There's about like a 90% chance that it will respect that fair value gap and continue in that same direction that fair value gap is in. So what I want to do is make sure that I at least close half of my position as soon as I enter this 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, so I'm going to mark out the 15. Great. So now let's go back to the 1-minute time frame. Awesome. So this is my entry on the trade right here. Stop loss is at this low right here. So what you're going to do first is the most recent high is have your first take profit. So it's going to be this area right here, TP1, and then what we just talked about, you're going to move your stop loss to break even. Awesome. So now that is a 1 to 1.6 risk to reward ratio. So great. That's your take profit one. And then as soon as you hit your take profit one, move your stop loss to break even, and then you're risk free on that trade, even if that trade ends up reversing. Okay, cool. So now that's 1 out of 5 that we have. So contracts 1 out of 5 right there. And now I want to have another take profit at this high right here. So you might be asking, why am I taking out at that high right there? That is a resting high that has a liquidity pool sitting above it. So there might be a chance that what we could do is we could come above these highs right here, sweep it out, and then continue lower after that. So there's a chance that that could happen. So that's exactly why I want to put a take profit there. Now, you could also do this with fair value gaps as well, just like with this one as well. You could do this with 1 minute time frame fair value gap. So we could see that we have a 1 minute fair value gap Oh, 1 minute time frame fair value gap. I'm stuttering. All right, so if I really wanted to, obviously this is too close for my liking. So if I wanted to have a stop loss or take profit, this fair value gap, it is a little bit too close for my liking since it is right next to the take profit one. But let's just say, for example, I believe that looks like a 2 or 3 minute fair value gap. Maybe it might be a little bit higher. Okay, let's just pretend that's not there. Okay, we're not going to look at that as a profit target. The way I like doing it is having take profits at recent highs or resting pools of liquidity. Okay, so obviously take profit one right here. I'm going to have my take profit two right here. So TP2. Now, we're coming close to this 15-minute fair value gap. So what I want to do is see another resting high or at least entrance to the 15-minute fair value gap. So what I would do in this scenario is put my take profit at this high right here. Great, so this is going to be my TP3. So, like I said, we have, let's just say for example, we already hit take profit one. Dope. Stop loss is at break even now, so I'm risk free on the trade. So let's just say if it made $150 on this and it reversed back into my stop loss, which is currently at break even, I'm fine with it. There's nothing going to happen with me because I basically just won the trade just from one take profit. Okay. So now we have our three take profits. Now we have this 15-minute fair value gap. So at this point, like I said earlier, I want to have at least half of my position closed before I enter a 15-minute fair value gap. So like you see right here, we have our first take profit, second take profit, third take profit. And obviously the third take profit is the entrance to that 15-minute. Okay, so now what I want to do is start moving up a little bit. So let's just say we have this 15-minute and we see resting prominent highs with liquidity pools above them. That is going to be another take profit for me. All right. So what is the most recent high after this area with a resting pool of liquidity? And that's this candle right here. So now this is going to be your take profit 4. Awesome. And then now what you're going to do is find another fair value gap. So in this case right here, we have this 15-minute fair value gap, but now on a lower time frame, I know that this is a 1-minute fair value gap. So this is going to be my final take profit right here. Okay, so this is the take. This is a 1-minute fair value. Oh, I was about to say FVG. 1-minute fair value gap right here. Cool. So what I personally would want to do is to have the final take profit in the 50% mark of the fair value gap right here. Cool, so I'm gonna get rid of this. So now this is going to be my final take profit, so TP5. All right, cool. So now let's start moving up. So obviously oops. Great, so this is our entire trade. Now let's see what happens after this. Cool, take profit 1, take profit 3, or take profit 2, take profit 3 just got swept. Awesome. So now this is another thing that you could do as well. So what you could do is have a trailing stop loss. So what this means is you could have a stop loss in profits. So obviously after hitting take profit 1, you can, we're basically at break even at this point. Okay, so we hit our take profit 1, we move our stop loss to break even. Now what I could do after I hit take profit 2 is now I can move up my stop loss. So what I'm gonna do is after I hit take profit 2, I can move my stop loss to take profit 1. So now I'm gonna have a stop loss at take profit 1. So this is going to be stopping me out. So let's just say, for example, we hit this, price then reverses, and then I get stopped out again. At that point, you're basically chilling because even though you hit your take profit 1, 2, and 3, you also reversed and took it in profit. So you're basically more than in profits at this point right here. Okay, so if that makes sense to you, it's a super simple, easy concept. Okay, so now let's continue. So let's just say, for example, we're continuing. Obviously we are above the take profit 3. Now we're getting close to the take profit 4. Let's see if we hit it. Take profit 4 just got hit. Beautiful. Awesome. So now what I could do is move my stop loss again. Okay, now I can move my stop loss again to take profit 2. So now let's just say, for example, we hit my TP4. Awesome. I'm gonna hit my take profit 2. This is my stop loss. So let's just say, for example, we're in this 15-minute fair value gap. There's a chance that we could reverse, no problem. Okay, so this could happen like that. No problem. I'm fine with it because I literally took 4 take profits, and I'm also taking another take profit well over in profits. Okay, so I'm basically more than risk free on this trade. Okay, so let's continue. Fuck, I just got rid of it. Cool. Let's see if we can hit our TP5. Almost there. I think we hit it. Awesome. There we go. How easy is that? So easy. Like, come on. This is light work. I'm gonna give you guys another example. I'll give you guys a bullish example in this case. We haven't not had really any bullish days lately, which is just pretty rough, but okay. All right. Let's do this. So, let's just say, for example, I take my trade off this 1-minute fair value gap right here. We have this beautiful 1-minute inverse fair value gap. We retrace back into it. This was Thursday. Okay, that's why I remember this day. Where am I going to put my stop loss? So obviously we are above decent amount of. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. We are above the. Fuck, I don't know how to phrase this, but we're like a good chunk above this range right here, or this low right here. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of having my stop loss all the way down here, I'm gonna put it like right here. So the open of this candle right here, that's probably going to be my stop loss. So that is like mostly ideal right there. Okay, so obviously we could see that we basically chopped our way up, but this is another good example of where we could have our take profits and stop loss. Okay, so obviously we took this trade right here. Stop loss is below these lows right here at the open of this candle. And now what I could do is I'm going to put my stop losses. All right, so stop losses, take profits. Take profit, the most recent high. So TP1, great. Now in this case, let's just say, for example, if you move your stop loss to break even, okay? So you could see that we come up and then we move down, we go below our break even. So that's just going to stop you out. This is a good example of how you could use this. And then, I mean, like, if you were in this trade the entire time, you're literally going to be sitting here until God knows how long, like how many hours you're sitting there for. Okay, so I would much rather just take my 2 take profits and then be done for the day. Okay, so let's just say, for example, this is a scalp. I'm gonna be taking this as a scalp trade. Okay, so I want to hit at least the 50% mark, or the equilibrium of this entire range right here. Okay, so let's just say I'm entering this trade with 3 contracts. Awesome. So take profit 1 is right here. I move my stop loss to break even as soon as take profit 1 gets hit. So then I'm going to be completely risk-free from the trade. Now, another high right here. Very nice high right here. Take profit 2. Now, where are you going to put your take profit 3? Any fair value gap that you see. So personally, obviously we are in this, I believe it's a 15-minute fair value gap, probably a 4-hour, if anything, or 1-hour fair value gap. 15-minute fair value gap. Okay. The way I would do this is I would literally take the 50% mark of the entire fair value gap. So let's just say, for example, in this case, the 15-minute fair value gap. Made this 15-minute. I want to see the 50% mark of this fair value gap getting hit, and that would be my 3rd and final take profit. All right. In this case, this is the equilibrium, well, the equilibrium point, 50% mark. Nice. That is my final 3rd take profit right here. So TP3 And as you can see, as soon as TP3 gets hit, the equilibrium point of this 15-minute fair value gap, we dump. Okay, so in this case, this is exactly how I would take this trade. So 1 minute inverse fair value gap, we retrace back into it, take the longs at the bottom wick right here, take profit 1 at these highs, take profit 2 right here. And then this is also, this high right here is the entrance to that 15-minute fair value gap. So you can take more off right there if you feel more comfortable taking, maybe let's just say, obviously, if, like we entered in this trade, you took 3 contracts in this trade. Okay, you took 2 contracts off at TP1, and then you have basically 1 more left, which is called a runner. So 1 contract left or 1 unit left, whatever you want to call it. It just continues higher, and then wherever you want to have your final take profit. So whether it's at take profit 2 or take profit 3. Okay, that's basically it. But like I said, I usually want to have at least 1 to 2 contracts being taken off at a take profit. Okay, so in this case, this is a great example of using 3 take profits for 3 contracts. All right, let me find you guys another good example, and then I'll send you guys on the way. All right. All right, cool. This is another good example of how we can use take profits and stop losses. All right, so let's just say, for example, I entered this trade right here. All right, so let's just say we retrace back into this order block right here. So this is the order block trade. Order block. This is my trade right here, or wherever you want it to be. That's going to be my entry at the order block right there. I'm going to put my stop loss below these lows since it's not that big of a move. And I want my final take profit to be at these highs right here. Okay, so this is going to be my final take profit. Great, so this is going to be, let's just say we enter this trade with 4 contracts. Okay, so like we always been talking about, as soon as we hit the most recent high, take something off. So TP1, move your stop loss to break even at this point. So at that point, we see price dumping. So let's just say, for example, we just continue to dump. So take profit 1, we move our stop loss to break even. All right, so take profit 1, stop loss is at break even. Let's just say, for example, we dump. Stop loss gets hit. Okay, you made $100 at this take profit right here. And then you're basically like, you didn't lose anything else at your stop loss because you move your stop loss to break even. Now let's say, for example, take profit 1 was $100 while the stop loss, original stop loss, was about $70. Okay, so even though you made $100, this stop loss was $70. So you basically walk out of this trade with $30. Okay, so this moving your stop loss to break even prevents you from losing everything. Okay, so this is a good way to basically just secure profits and make sure that you go risk free on the trade. Okay, so let's continue with this. So 4 contracts on this trade. What else could we do? All right, so take profit 3, take profit 2 right here. Most recent high after that. Nice. All right, another spot, if you don't feel comfortable with moving your stop, having a take profit that high up, this is an order blocker here. So if you feel like price can reject out of that order block, let's put it right here. All right, so that's another take profit right there. So TP2 right there. And remember, we're still at stop loss is still at break even, so we're risk free on this trade. Okay, so you can feel comfortable with having a higher stop or take profit. Okay, so now we have 2 left. All right, so let's go on a 5-minute fair value gap, because this, or 5-minute time frame, because this to me looks like it is a fair value gap. So it's an imbalance. So let's take a look at a 5-minute fair value gap. And like I said, imbalances are super great areas for having a take profit. All right, as you can see, beautiful 5-minute fair value gap right here. There is a very high chance that we can come up, enter this 3-minute fair value gap, and then just dump after that. Okay, so that's why you want to always have your take profits at the beginning of any form of a reversal. So at the very top of a resting high, or the very low of a fair value gap, right, the entire entrance to it. Okay, so take profit 3. Okay, now let's say if you want to know, that is kind of a big stretch right here. Let's just say, for example, we had our take profit 4 right here. Okay, great. TP4 right here. Awesome. This to me looks like a perfect trade. I would so take this. All right. Obviously, this is not the right session. This is Asia session right now. But let's just say, for example, this worked out. All right. Now, take profit 2 got hit. Stop loss is still at break even. So we're still risk free on this trade. Look good. Take profit 3, take profit 4 got hit. You're done. That's it. That's how simple it is. Super fucking easy. Very easy. So I personally think that take profits are kind of overlooked. People overcomplicate them. They put them in the wrong spot, and then they are confused why price reverses on them. Okay, so this is a super easy explanation of where you can put your take profits and stop losses. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. If you want to join my Discord, I do live calls for free. I do one-on-one mentorship, trade call-outs, all that kind of good stuff. It's in the link in my description. It is all completely for free. All right, so I'll see you guys in the next video.